1.
At the end of the war, the whole world seemed to fall into a hush. Only Misty, Richie, and I were free to think our own thoughts. Everyone else was quiet. Their thoughts were silent, their actions subdued. It was as if everyone was riding in a raft that bobbed up and down with the same steady, calm movement. But I had no time to rest. I knew that if no one did anything, then everything I had done would go to waste when they died from starvation and lack of movement. I gave them just enough freedom to look after themselves reasonably, but purely on instincts. I felt that was best, and afterwards, everything worked out. It didn't happen overnight, but eventually, all that was left for me to do was keep the peace. As my advisor, Misty was left with nothing official to do, so I gave her free reign over both the tower and the city. I did request that she report to me on the happenings in the city every night, and she did without fail. She never had anything to report either, but I wasn't as concerned about the town itself than her loyalty. I had chosen a big risk by not putting her under control, but that first day, when she didn't choose to hate me, I felt I only owed her that much. It had been over 10 years since the war had ended. I wasn't sure exactly how much. The term year had started to lose meaning for me. After all, what difference does a year make when you know you're going to live forever? "Ready to give the report," Misty announced. "Go for it." "No unusual behavior. Everything seems to be in order and working properly. Everyone's happy." I started to dismiss her with that. I wasn't expecting anything unusual, but I sensed it. Something strange. Different. As I keyed in on it, I realized that it was coming from her. She stiffened as she found me staring at her. "Is something the matter, Ashura?" I didn't bother to answer that. If something was the matter, then she ought to know. It feels like there's someone else with her, but I don't see anyone. It took me a long time to figure it out, and Misty got more nervous by the second. When it finally hit me, I found myself shouting both in surprise and anger. "You're pregnant!" Her face turned chalk white at those words, and I knew instantly that I was right. "You are, aren't you? How could you? Why would you? Misty!" "Yes, sir?" she asked meekly. "I thought I could trust you!" "You can't." "Can't! I can't trust you! What have you done?" "Ashura!" "Don't try to soften me up. It won't work. All this time, you fooled me just like everyone else. I won't forgive this." "Ashura, please, listen to me." "No!" I yelled, then took a few deep breaths to try to calm down. "Who's the father?" Of course, that was when she decided to shut up. "Tell me now, or I'll have to find everyone possible and make them. And you. Tell me!" "Richie." As appalled as I was, it only made sense. Richie was the only other person I didn't have under complete control. He could get away with almost anything, and I wouldn't notice. "That little..." "What are you going to do?" Misty asked pitifully. "I'm going to bring him here, and then we'll see." Misty knew me better than that. She knew exactly what I had in mind. She sagged to the floor in despair. It was only a matter of time before I got around to her, too. "Richie!" It was a long, anxious minute as we waited for him to arrive. When he did, I could tell that he was scared. "Yes?" he asked, panting from the run-up here. "I know what you did." "Did? I don't know what you're talking about." "Richie," Misty interrupted. "He knows." "About?" He looked honestly confused for a moment, but after a silent chat with Misty, his eyes widened in fear, and I could feel him shaking. He knew perfectly well what I knew. "I can't let you get away with that," I whispered icily. "I trusted you, and then you turned your back on me as soon as you had the chance." "No, I didn't." "Talking can't save you now. You know what you deserve, and I'm going to make sure you get it." "Ashura!" I aimed a straight shot at his heart. It hit, and he went stiff for a second as the blackness ended his life. "Richie!" Misty screamed. I ignored her until Richie had moved on. Then I turned on her with cold fury. She began to cry. Crystal tears dripped off of her face, and she sobbed, not even trying to hold it back. Weak. She's crying. Only weaklings cry. "I'm sparing you. For now." She looked at me in surprise. "But why?" she asked in between sobs. "I don't harm the innocent." With that, I turned away, signaling that I was done with her. I heard her stand up, sniffling, then slowly leave. Her weeping grew stronger as she passed Richie. Then the door shut, and she was gone. First, I disposed of the body. Then I ordered a Chansey to look after Misty until the baby was born. After that, I was left alone with my thoughts. The child, it hasn't earned life or death yet. It knows nothing. It has never felt pain. I can't harm it, but can I trust it? Or should I just put it under my control as soon as it is born? I decided on the latter. It would be safer to take control from the very beginning. Then the child would never have a chance to learn how to betray, and I knew I wouldn't be able to stand going through that one more time. Misty, you will still die for your betrayal. I'll make sure of it. During the time of her pregnancy, I excused her from her reports. Chansey insisted that she needed to rest. I was fine with that, and left the caretaking to Chansey. I only visited Misty once, and that was towards the beginning. I kept a cold face, but acted as if I was just looking after her. In reality, I was carefully manipulating her body in a sort of time bomb. I was creating a miscarriage. Misty would die as soon as the baby was born, but the baby would live, and maybe even take her place. And then Misty's death wouldn't be such a big loss. With Chansey looking after the child until it was old enough, everything would work out perfectly. That's the way I had planned it. "The birthing has begun," said Umbreon. I didn't turn around. "Oh, it has it?" "Yes. Misty wants to know if you'll be there." "No, I'm fine right here. Tell me when it's over." "Yes, sir." It was a very long time until Umbreon returned. I waited patiently for the news that I knew was coming. When Umbreon came back, he was in a breathless panic. His eyes were wide and tearful. He told me between cries of sadness that Misty hadn't made it. I hadn't expected anything less. "All right then. Thank you for telling me. Why don't you take a breather? You seem to be in shock." Umbreon nodded, backed out of the room, and then ran to his room. I calmly teleported myself to Misty's room. Misty lay still on the bed, her face contorted in pain. Blood covered the sheets, as well as Chansey and the small, wriggling form she held in her paws. She turned to me, unsure of what to make of it all. "Take the baby and clean it up. I'll take care of this mess." Chansey only nodded and left the room. I floated up to the bed and landed beside Misty. She still looked like she was in agony, though I knew all her pain had ended. Then why did I feel bad for her? "Misty, why did you have to go and betray me? Why did you have to... If you had only done what I told you to, then you wouldn't have been gone right now. You wouldn't have had to go through all this pain. Why couldn't you leave the pain to me? That's why I'm here." I bowed my head. "Misty, I'm sorry." I sent her and all the blood away. When I opened my eyes, it seemed too unreal. After all, hadn't she been lying there just seconds ago? "Misty, I'll make it up to you. I promise."